Don Finn. I am the editor of the COABE Journal, and I welcome you to today's author interview. This interview is actually going to be a little bit different. It's going to be a discussion focusing on the family literacy edition of the COABE Journal. And I'm so pleased to have with me Felicia Smith, who is the president and CEO for the National Centers for Family Learning, and NCFL was our partner in putting this journal together. So we're just going to take a few minutes to talk a little bit about the journal, about how it came into being, and really what the benefits would be, and some of the highlights from this edition. So Felicia, it's great to see you. Welcome.
Great. Thank you, Don. I really appreciate being here. Such an
Absolutely.
honor.
Absolutely, and it's been such an honor working with you and with Anna, who served as the content editor on behalf of NCFL. It's just been such a great experience. So, Felicia, would you mind telling our folks a little bit about yourself and your background?
Sure. I'm glad to be here. I'm serving now as the president and CEO of the National Center for Families Learning. I'm into my third year following our founder, Sharon Darling. And I'm really excited about the work here at NCFL and this partnership with COABE. NCFL for 35 years has had a mission to eradicate poverty through education solutions for families. And family literacy has been our legacy work and programming that has sustained really over time. And we credit that to Sharon and her amazing vision for how to work hand in hand with families, parenting adults who have the ability to enhance and empower themselves through literacy. And I think what's really important that makes this time very special is that this work around family literacy has crossed borders, crossed populations, demographic groups, and has evolved over time to meet the very important needs of families today. The other key piece that I hope the readers of the journal find is that this work grows out of the adult education field. And so we're proud to continue to focus on the adult learner and the implications that that has for family well-being and family empowerment through family literacy.
Felicia, that's great. Thank you for that. And you and I first met at the All In meeting, the Adult Literacy and Learning Impact Network meeting, where the group was really founded in, I believe it was February of 2022. So you were on the job for a few months, and I was representing COABE at that meeting. And then we connected again shortly after at another conference, and I think that's where the idea for having this joint effort was really born over some chips and salsa in San Antonio, and that was where we determined that with the journal we wanted to partner with like-minded organizations, and NCFL is such a great organization to partner with. In particular, and because you mentioned that the vision for NCFL, as Sharon Darling started it, and you've got some big shoes to fill, and you've done such a wonderful job, by the way. Your leadership has just been great, and the focus has just been wonderful over these 3 years now that you've been president and CEO. But the connection in particular with adult education and family literacy is critical to family literacy. And with this journal edition, we had submissions from various groups and organizations involved in family literacy education. And one of the things that I hope stands out to COABE's readers, which, by the way, NCFL is 35 years, COABE is 25 years, so we're kind of your kid sibling here, but we are really excited for our readers who are mainly adult education folks to read more about the ties with family literacy. I think that adult educators know that the enhancement and the development of literacy skills in adults has such a positive effect on families. I often say that it changes, adult education really can change the trajectory of a family tree, and the
Indeed.
inspiration that the students, the children and other family members have with their parents being educated. And so I think that this was a natural tie. So Felicia, let me ask you, what would you like our readers, our COABE readers in particular, to really find out or to learn more about as it relates to family literacy through reading this edition?
Yeah, great. Thanks for the question. Don, I think one of the important things that the adult education field needs to take away from this particular journal and the focus on family literacy is just how interconnected the work is. I mentioned a few minutes ago that the work of family literacy grew out of the adult education field, and NCFL has been one of the strongest advocates for ensuring that family literacy is in now federal language and has been for quite some time. That is because of advocacy of our organization and many other organizations, but NCFL taking the lead on that through that policy change and practice ensures that family literacy is woven into the experiences of adult learners, but also we see this language in programming that can impact schools and districts, and family literacy is an option for title programming that can be provided to then enhance what's happening for the learner, the children, but also for their families. We know how important that is. So I think one of the things that I'm really hopeful is that we elevate and we reinvigor the field in a way that really begins to not only see the adult learner as the learner and helping them reach their goals, but also how that has an impact on helping their family reach their goals and having parents come together through family literacy to learn more about their child's education and the ways in which adults, parenting adults particularly, but any parent or caregiver also as an adult learner, working with children to enhance their learning experiences as well. So the history is really important to ground us in how family literacy and adult education have worked hand in hand, have been inextricably woven together, as well as the implications for how learning for the adult can impact and enhance what's happening for children in the home. And together as that unit, that is how, families' lives and families' trajectories have changed. And we have stories upon stories of adults who have gone through family literacy, really enhance their skills and competencies and leadership through adult education, which is one component of the four component model, and have impacted their lives and the multiple generations that have followed. So I think the four component language and framework that's in legislation and the model that NCFL has researched and we have evidence of how it has changed lives of families is really important. And I think the other piece that is important for adult practitioners, adult education practitioners, and others to recognize is that through those four components, adult education, child's education, parenting time, and parent and child together time, that when that whole system comes together to provide family literacy opportunities, you can see adult education and family literacy as a holistic approach to meeting the adult learner needs, but also meeting the family needs. So these are the things that we think are really important for adult education practitioners and family literacy practitioners to deeply understand. Oftentimes, you'll see family literacy coming out of adult education programming in communities. And we partner very closely with those adult education providers, and that's essential to the success of the program. And we think that this is fundamental for your audience and our audience to continue to reflect upon and approve upon to meet the needs of adult learners today and their families' needs as well.
Yeah, that's great. And you mentioned the inextricable links. Well, that's a nice segue into a wonderful piece that is featured in the Family Literacy edition of the COABE Journal, The Inextricable Links Between Adult Education and Family Literacy, a look at family literacy and adult education with National Center for Families Learning. This was authored by Felicia, Anna Kaiper-Marquez, and Amy Foster Parish. This is one of our featured articles that does a wonderful job of really, and I think Felicia gave us an overview of the article in her comments, but it does a great job of talking about that history of the NCFL and their mission. It talks about the initiatives that they have in building upon adult education to the education of children and with literacy education and so on. And also it provides a great graphic. You had mentioned the four-component family literacy approach. Wonderful graphic that's included in this edition as well, that folks can look at and gain an appreciation for it. And so in that vein, Felicia, kind of closing things out, what advice would you give and where would you direct our adult educators in particular to learn more about NCFL and to learn more about your mission and maybe look at some of the resources that are available to them?
Wonderful. I think the first thing I would say is, visit our website and familieslearning.org, because we have quite a bit of information there readily available for anyone who wants to learn more about family literacy and the implications and impact it's had over the years. We have research studies there. We have videos from participants there. We have articles there, and we have additional resources. I would also suggest, we have our conference coming up, which is our 35th year anniversary conference. Our conference brings together this network that is such a solid network of family literacy and adult education practitioners. And we come together to celebrate all that has occurred over 35 years. So I'd encourage folks to come to the conference, which is on November 18th through 20th. It'll be held in Louisville, Kentucky, which is our headquarters. And we plan to really spotlight how adult education, family literacy, family engagement has really transformed what's happened as a movement for this country. We still have a lot of work to do. And I think that's what I believe is the beauty from the All In network of bringing our two organizations together, which is another place where people can find out more about family literacy. But ensuring that we are working together to share those resources publicly and freely. And that's where I would really suggest people to learn most about family literacy and our implications and partnership with family adult education. The other thing I'll say is we're in over 130, communities across 40 states, 39, 40 states. And I say that because if you go to an adult education provider location, it is a high likelihood in your local community that there are some individuals practicing and implementing family literacy models. So going to the website, going to the conference, but also just checking out in your community where adult education providers are providing support. That is a place where you can learn more about family literacy. And I would be remiss if I did not mention that through the gracious support of Dollar General Literacy Foundation, NCFL and Pro Literacy, another partner organization through our All In network, has a national literacy directory. And if there are adult education practitioners out there who want to learn more about looking at family literacy models, there are many models and implementation efforts that are identified through that National Literacy Directory. So I would encourage people to visit that National Literacy Directory to learn more, our website, our conference, and this journal. As you mentioned, Dawn, one of the things that was most exciting to learn through this process of this joint publication is that there were many, many more articles written on this topic. And we couldn't take them all. It was a really hard choice. We had some really hard choices to make, but this journal is a one of a kind. And I am thrilled that we were able to work together in the way that we have to really publish the best of what's happening in the field across adult education and family literacy. So I want to end by saying thank you so much to COABE and your leadership, that of Sharon Bonney, because our organizations are working hand in hand to get to some of the same goals. And I think in today's time, that is exactly how we're going to have to be able to accomplish and meet the demands of addressing adult education and adult literacy.
Felicia, thank you so much. Again, this has been a great partnership. I totally agree with you. I'm so pleased with the final product, the COABE journal. Focusing on family literacy, and definitely appreciate the partnership now and moving forward. And so, just a recap of a couple of things. We talked about the adult literacy and learning impact network. All In. Their website is allinliteracy.org. And of course, the National Centers for Family Learning is familieslearning.org. So definitely check out those websites for resources and information. And also, don't forget coabe.org. If you visit coabe.org, and click on the COABE Journal link on our homepage, that will give you information for how you can download your copy of the COABE Journal focusing on family literacy. You can read Felicia's article and many other articles that we talked about in this special edition. And it also gives you an opportunity to look at some of our previous editions on various adult education themes. So again, Felicia, thank you so much for taking the time to speak to our viewers, and to our viewers, thank you for taking the time to learn a little bit more about the family literacy edition of the COABE Journal. Thank you so much. I wish you well. I wish you great learning. Take care.
Thank you.